Okay, we are back! It's a new Deathball and releasing a day earlier than usual. I was expecting it to release tomorrow, but it is out today, on a Saturday, which is nice. Anyway, it is... Oh, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing them now. Shigaraki versus Mahito. I think I pronounced them correctly. Anyway, it's My Hero Academia versus Jujutsu Kaisen. And My Hero Academia has been in the Deathball before. I don't remember the character's name at the top of my head, but I know that someone from that series has been in the Deathball before. And I think this was also one of the Deathballs we actually knew about. From the wow, now it's stuck in my... Now I can't figure out what it's called. Yeah, from the Kickstarter. So basically, yeah, I think this was from this Kickstarter matchup lineups. I don't really know these two characters. I mean, I could try and pretend I do know them and all that stuff, but that was just lying, and I don't really know them. So I don't really know what to say about them. I mean, they seem alright just based on the thumbnail alone. They seem like alright, I guess. They're interesting designs, I guess. Let's just go into the analysis, because as right now I can't even predict anything. I need to see what these two characters really are capable of. So let's get this over with. Okay, with that said, let's play. Okay, this is gonna be a 2D one.
Shigaraki
or more like a hand-drawn one.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's whiz and
Whoa, what's my subtitles?
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win.
A Deathball. Let's find out. Alright. Who are these two characters?
Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
But sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed
Dang.
beyond his emotional limits until
dark
he
story.
activated his inherent
Backstory.
superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All for
Whoa,
one,
okay.
The greatest supervillain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his league of villains in destroying hero society.
With that came a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolute
Tomura Shigaraki. Okay, I'm totally mispronouncing it. I don't know if I will be pronouncing it correctly later, but hopefully I will.
Perfect power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands.
Oh, they are
From
real
his
hands.
family.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange that he had
Attached
multiple
to his
hands.
face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming
Okay,
miasma that
that's
could wipe
interesting.
out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay reaches you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the #1 hero, All Might.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible
All Might.
leader.
That was the name of the
Short-sighted
character in
and,
that one.
well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's the kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before, Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight, and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's
Kind of that shot when you think, oh, Illuminati.
Who spent months upgrading
You know, like
Shigaraki's
from
body
Doctor
to make
Strange,
it more like
the
his
second
sensei's.
movie.
It might have been constant agony, but Shiggy went
The
from
very
Chud
similar
to
shot.
Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing All Might's power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT, almost as much as the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and can even catch laser beams.
And he's
Well,
tough
okay.
enough to survive Star
That
Stripes,
you
Intercontinental
okay? You have some
Ballistic Bruise
incredible
Bugs.
speed,
Now
though.
the new name for
I mean,
my penis.
you must be really fast
Gigantic
when you
Omega Storm. Anyway,
basically
they also made a
catches
blast so big, it
lasers.
showed up against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So Decay became, oh shit, more hands.
Shigaraki can
Even more
spontaneously
hands?
generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever he wants. He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
Okay,
But
so
that's
this guy
nothing
can just
compared
use
to
as many
Ujiko's
hands as he
greatest gift.
pleases,
Shigaraki
basically.
wanted to be the new All For One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All For One's quirk, All For One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All For One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
He can even combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also
So it can be like his
sentient, and
biggest
some can
strength.
even
It can
fight
also
for
be
control.
like his biggest
Which is when
weakness.
the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also
Let's
got
face
All
it,
For
how
One's
I
vestige, that
heard
means
it.
All For
Understood it.
One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tanko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He
Oh, yeah.
manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose: to create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All For One to take full control.
But All For One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process, all to fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All For One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one
Oh.
moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life. The one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
Ever since
Okay,
Cain slew his brother Abel
let's see
and
what
wetted his fields
Mahito
with
is
his
about,
blood,
or
man's
how he
greatest fear
compare in
has been
comparison
his
to
fellow man.
Shigaraki.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle.
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito. Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind. He's no mere mortal though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak, or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger, or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's
okay, that could become useful for him.
Impossible for
I
the
can tell.
untrained eye to see.
I imagine.
Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attacks that embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a Jujutsu sorcerer to come in and Kaisen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals. But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito
Hope he's a good leader, though.
Philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict, Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy
Ouch.
considering his curse technique, idle transfiguration.
Using his cursed energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch. Including
just
his
a
own.
touch.
In fact, he's so good at
Shigaraki has
his
something
own soul
about just a
that you
touch
can't
too,
even
right?
kill the bastard without
Oh, I hope I
directly
remember that
targeting
correctly.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants. Like Play-Doh, he can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings
Wow,
like a bird, or
okay.
fins like a fish,
Are you
reform
capable
his
of
body around injuries,
getting
or
past
even create clones.
Shigarika's defensive hands?
His alterations to
No,
their
that's
body
what I
are
wonder.
instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch! God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties,
Wow.
the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Even more twisted is when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is
yeah.
unbelievably creative with his application of
Like I was
idle
gonna say it
transfiguration,
myself,
and
for God's
despite
sake.
being
Yeah.
a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying cursed energy within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy, space itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does
Whoa.
this hurt like a mother, it restores
Okay,
your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
I
And would
feel
require
like this guy is
reflexes
getting
moving
the
1,000
upper hand
times
there.
the speed of sound. It's no No surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the Domain Expansion.
Oh shit! More hands! A domain
He
is
has
like a
hands
barrier
too?
of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idle transfiguration instantly without even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection, the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him.
The king of curses, Sukuna.
Which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief
I
in
guess
the
it's still
value of
one,
human
huh?
life flew directly in the face of the world
Maybe.
that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take
Dang.
energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with
Yeah,
armor,
I-
skeleton,
okay.
and arm blades. This was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into. A true
I feel like this guy
mankind.
surpasses
Would it last?
Shigariku's
In a battle of resolve, Yuji
hand
won out.
ability.
In a dog
I
eat
mean,
dog
sure, he has
world,
his own
there was
abilities
now
too, but
a bigger wolf.
So he tucked tail and ran away like a bitch. And what do you know? Life suddenly became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was
yeah, I
about
feel like
to end.
Mahito
All
is
that
the one to win
gleeful
this.
nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Mahito is going to be the winner. Shigaraki, I can't speak. Oh wow, I can't speak at all. Shigaraki, wow, excuse me. Shigaraki seems like a really powerful guy. He had I think the best defense for him was the hands. I feel like the hand ability he had, can use the hands to create some kind of armor, or can use as many hands as he wants. That's probably his biggest feat from what I gathered. Mahito seems to be going about that. I mean, he had the final form, which was basically like a, well, I don't remember what to call it, but it was a killer. Basically the final killer form. And he was also something to do with hands, and he also had that one touch thing, which definitely can come in handy for him as well. I'm gonna keep this brief, but I'm gonna try to say right now, I just want to say that right now, that Mahito is going to be the winner of this battle. I could be wrong, but he also annihilated a city, I think it was, to ashes, or maybe it was more than that, I think it was. So it's, I don't remember if they said anything similar with Shiga here, but he definitely did. He did some impressive stuff too, I guess, and I'm sure he might have some daddy issues from what I gathered. But Mahito seemed to be just above that. And then there was something about over 800 TNT, in terms of his power or something, and then, going really, really, really fast. I feel like the way his speed was definitely faster than Shiga's capability of catching the lasers, I think they said for him. So, yeah, I feel like Mahito is the winner for this one. I could be wrong, I could be misremembering stuff, Or you know, I just missed something because I was packing. But in the end, I still feel like Mahito is the winner here, and yeah, I'm just gonna go with Mahito. So with that, let's go into Death Ball and see if I'm right.
Hey, do you see that join button? Yeah, that one. That's your ticket to being a Death Battle champion. As a champion, you get all sorts of exclusive
Okay, I'm gonna
Death
let
Battle
this part
content,
play.
like extra videos, live chats, and sending us your own matchup ideas. And the support helps us make even more Death Battle. So thank you for being a champion.
Right, let's get this over with.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
Yeah, it's time for Death Ball, and Mahito is going to win. I assume. So let's see if I'm right. Whoa! This guy's head exploded! Oh my gosh, that's a brutal beginning of a Death Ball. And the battle hasn't even started yet.
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us. We could use a freak of your talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition. Sickum.
Okay, fight! Okay, the animation looks really good though. Oh man, he used the beasts to kill each other.
Game over.
Damn,
Could you
is
actually
this a
just say
skeleton? No, it got, yeah, it kind of looks like it. At least.
How lame!
Did he try to kiss him? Is that what he tried to do?
Audition over.
Did I get the part?
Well, I guess on time will tell, huh?
Decay.
Oh my gosh, I had to hurt. And now he's using the hands as a defense mechanism. I still don't think it's enough for him though.
That all you got?
Domain expansion.
Yeah, here comes more hands.
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy was mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
Wow, that was a psychotic laugh. A very super villain laugh, to say the least.
Hands off my masterpiece.
I felt your soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random.
Oh my gosh, are you
I hate
able to
for a reason.
escape? Oh my god, yeah! He has a head and legs! Oh my god, that was kind of funny. Is that it? Yeah. Okay.
What did I say, Wiz?
Did not see that
With
having
their
coming.
complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're
Yeah, it
breaking
was
down
kind of
three
awesome, but at the same
categories:
time, I
physical
was
stats,
sure Mahito had this
and
one.
their powers.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are notably different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normal. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Search quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki's scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster,
Okay,
too,
I might have forgotten about that
considering
part.
He could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly
Unless I
1,000
missed
times
it.
the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which presents a crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito in the first place?
Yeah, that was
Or
something I
would
was a bit
Mahito's
curious about too.
unkillability give him the time
I don't think
needed
I
to
said
eventually
anything about it, but
put Shiggy
yeah,
down with idle transfiguration.
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki
Yeah,
had
okay,
more
the-
variety
basically
with
who
all
has the
crazy quirks all for
best
one had
power
collected over all the
abilities or
years,
whatever.
But none that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
And Shiggy has hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a
All
unique
right.
duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner
Yeah.
is Tomura Shigaraki.
Really gotta have it to him.
Next time on
Okay, so here's
Death Bell.
next. Oh, is this yeah, it is.
Subscribe and join as a member to
Ah,
see more Death
that
Battle.
one is next.
Thanks for watching.
Okay, we are on to the next one next time. Master Chief versus Doom Guy. Or Doomslayer. Whatever. So that was the next one. That was the rematch episode that they had, that was being voted on, you know. Which rematch episode do you want to see? Personally, I am not against this one. It's been a while since we've seen both of them in a Death Ball, and I guess if one of them were to get a rematch, this one is a fine option. I saw a lot of support for Shadow versus Mewtwo getting that sort of remake, but yeah, I'm kind of glad it's not that one, just because of the way they handled Shadow in that original episode. But that's, you know, just a Sonic anime talking, I guess. So yeah, which one will I have preferred? I really don't know. On top of my head, I really don't know. I probably had a general idea of which one I wanted by that around the time we got the chance to vote for them. But right now, I'm not really sure. Maybe Goomba versus Koopa could be nice and an interesting remake, maybe? I don't know, maybe? I mean, I've seen a lot of, hey, let's go have Mario vs. Sonic 3. I mean, sure, let's do that someday, but let's do the movie version of them in that case, you know, but just because I feel like movie Mario, movie Sonic, that's probably the most logical next development if you're gonna do Mario and Sonic in particular. But then, if that's what's gonna happen, I feel like we gotta wait for at least the second Mario movie, and possibly a third, so at least have a trilogy to go on both of them. I haven't seen the first Sonic movie yet, so yeah, I don't know how that turns out, but I'm hoping they really nailed Shadow, because as a Shadow fan, I just hoping he nails it. Anyway, Master Chief and Doom Guy, even it is a fine devil. I'm looking forward to see what they are doing with them in the next episode. I don't think I don't really know these two characters that well. I do know them to the extent, the fact that I know they exist, and that the Master Chief and Xbox and Doom Guy or Doomslayer got a Mii fighter costume of sort in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that was interesting. Was never expecting that just because of the word Doom alone. But that's cool. That's cool. Anyway, so about this episode. That was I wouldn't say it was a good episode. I mean, it's not my favorite, but I do really enjoy it. It has, despite those two characters being kind of brutal, I guess, and definitely two shows I most likely never will watch, I do like the results. I was sure Mahito had this one, though. Because, I guess I fall into that trap again. When they hype up the character, that usually means they lose. In this case, that was the case. But I still felt like Mahito was the one to win this one, because getting past his curse ability, or the curses, or yeah, you know what I'm trying to say probably, was a tricky thing, and I assume we had a whole final killer mode or whatever it was, and I totally forgot about Shiga's, form. But it tied a lot to his hands, I think it was. So, anyway, yeah, okay, that was a cool episode. I did really enjoy it. I totally forgot about the whole thing about the. I don't remember how they explain it, but when he shot that laser of sort into the space or whatever it was. I totally forgot about that moment, so that was on me. Yeah, I don't know. I do really like this episode. And I do tend to notice, or I did notice that they didn't try to enjoy this type of music. They're using as a background music because, that type of music is used a lot, in that style. But usually, that type of music isn't my type of, my type of style, not something I usually like. But for this style itself, I actually did enjoy it to some extent. Yeah, I'm gonna say I actually did enjoy it for this style because it kind of worked with this style. I mean, I do really like the 2D hand-drawn style animation. That was really nice to look at. I like the whole. I really like the part where you see Mahito's head having legs and arms. That was kind of funny to me. I don't know why it was so funny, but to me it was kind of funny. So there was some humor in this episode too. So there's that. But I found it interesting though. I wouldn't say that he kind of panicked because he tried to escape. He couldn't do that. Anyway. So I'm gonna say, yeah, Shiga definitely deserved this win. Let me know what you thought about this episode by posting down in the comments below, and my glasses is getting foggy again. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this episode by posting down in the comments below, and let me know if you agree or disagree with this episode. Maybe there's some few things there that I did miss out on that you want to comment on. Feel free to do so, but be civil in the comments, please. And with that said, I think that is that. The original video is, of course, always linked in the description below. So there's that. If you're watching you're watching this on a computer or stuff, there's always gonna be a notification in the beginning of the video telling you to watch the original first, even if I forget to say it. Yeah, I don't know if there is anything else for me to say. Yeah, I did tease that in the previous episode, I think it was, where I said I was gonna start re-uploading all Deathfall reactions to this channel. I'm still gonna do that. Like every other week, you know, something like that. So, I will start doing that after this one, if I remember to. I don't think there's anything else for me to say. So, I'm gonna just end this episode right here, and I hope you guys did enjoy this reaction. And I see you guys in the next time. Minashu96 signing out, and I see you guys on Tuesday, I think it is, where we're gonna watch the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I'm gonna be live, because I have to react to that live. And hope you're gonna see some cool stuff in that Direct, because I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what Nintendo has to show us in that Direct, especially considering we just had a Direct. So that said, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time.